Hi, I'm Jake Burkhart. I'm the director of photography for Vice Media, and this is Jerry Ricciati. He's his own segment DP for the Vice on HBO show, which is what we're going to talk about today.
We'll be there uncovering the news, culture, and politics.
Vice has been shooting documentary content around the world for more than 10 years now. We're kind of self-taught in this way, where at some point we just picked up some cameras and started going. We travel with a really small crew. We travel with as little gear as possible, and we try to keep everything light and compact.
We're both going out on a shoot together to Iran next week, and this is basically what we would bring.
This is, the HBO creme de la creme of what we're doing.
This is kind of like the best of, I don't know, 10 years of you guys developing, buying your own equipment, investing in technology, and I think this is the thing that works best. Every shoot we go on, I think we basically bring the C300, 5D, and then usually the XF105.
This XF105 serves as a specialty camera in certain situations. Occasionally we'll even bring out the XF305 if that's called for.
I always bring this because basically if you put a 6-hour battery in this, it lasts all day. You can leave it turned on in the car. If an IED were literally to blow up on the road, at least you'd be able to start recording.
The 5D is invaluable for us for stills. We use stills on the website, we use them for promotion, we use them in print. It's also a great B cam for interviews.
Everybody likes the 5D, right? Everybody liked the sort of the depth of field look that started, but it's not enough to just go somewhere and see bullets or tear gas coming at you. People want to see it look pretty. And so I remember being in Egypt and thinking, wow, we're in a protest right now and you have a gas mask on and you're using a follow focus. You're shooting at 2.8 because you can, but also because it looks amazing. And I feel like that look is something that I'm really proud of. It would have been a lot easier to go in with a small chip camera or something like that, but the fact that this camera can be so beautiful, but then also we can make it beautiful ourselves in kind of a compromising situation.
I feel like I've finally figured out what is the perfect rig for this camera, and still yours is completely different. But I've got the Zacuto follow focus because as far as I know, it's the lightest weight. The MoveCam top handle here, I like because it just gives me the three things I want. I want a handle, I want to drop this LCD down to get it as low to the lens as I can, which I've done here with these rails. And then this one side rail, I've got to put the mic off to the side rather than up on top of the camera. I've completely removed the viewfinder here because I never used it. And the other really cool thing about this base plate is if I'm following someone handheld and then we jump into a tiny little Toyota Corolla, I just pop that out, the grip unplugs, and then there's a quick release for this whole rig. I'm off of that, and I'm in the front seat of the car, and I'll sit down and turn this over, and I'm small enough to still be able to move around in the car. This is sitting there, car stops, and I'm right back into my rig. Got these simple arms. Always have to have the smart handle here. I would never use another grip on this hand just because of having the start-stop here, the iris here, and then the focus magnification right here. You've got everything you need right at your fingers without ever losing stability, taking your hand off the camera.
I feel like about half the time we spend on a shoot is in a van. And so I had this whole idea that needs to be comfortable in the van, and also walking backwards. I found this Red Rock, it's called the Micro Cage, and I just like it basically for exactly this. I can sit this on a table right now, I can put it on the floor and not worry about somebody knocking it over and breaking what is going to be an irreplaceable part of the camera if we're off in a foreign country. But more importantly, it has essentially a cheese plate all through here. So it's got a lot of 1/4 and 3/8 options, which on this side I've attached 2 cold shoes to. I'll put a light on here and my shotgun stays on here. Sometimes I'll just put a clip on here and I'll wear a strap and I'll clip my camera to the strap if I'm hiking. Nice just to be able to attach the camera to something and know that it's solid. This thing took a beating because we were in Detroit and I tripped over in a scrapyard. I put my camera right into the ground. I'm convinced that the cage definitely saved the camera. So I like it for this. It adds a little bit of weight, but not enough that weight really bothered me too much.
As different as it is, you're using yours for the same 3 things. You've got a handle, you've got the exact same LCD setup, which I think I actually stole that from you, of just lowering it and moving it out here, and then the shotgun off to the side. So it's essentially doing the same thing, just in a different way.
Yeah, it is. But then what I really like, which you don't have anymore, and you turned me on to this, is the rosette here, where I can drop the grip down really quickly. So this comes down really fast, and throughout the day I can change the positioning of it. If you hold your camera like this for 6 hours, your arm's gonna get tired, but if you can kind of do this halfway through it, it gives your wrist a break. At least there's pressure being applied to different parts of your wrist. So I like how adjustable this is here.
My favorite lens is the 16 to 35. It's what I got on now. I'm with Jerry in his daytime. He'll have the 24 to 105. So he's got a little bit more range. He's got IS. He's picking off details that I'm not getting. He's sort of dancing around me. We always have a different lens on between the two of us. I started with this in-case bag.
It just looks like a school backpack, which I like, because a lot of times you don't want to be bringing too much attention to yourself. I can access the entire contents of the bag from in here, which is really nice. So I'll usually put one lens in here, 24 to 105, or I'll have a 5D with a 70 to 200 on. There's a bunch of options, but I'll put my go-to thing here, and then what I really like on a shoot, this will be full of lenses, extra batteries, basically everything I need for the day to shoot. And actually, since we don't use shoulder pads, I found wearing a backpack is actually really nice because, you know, at the end of the day, those rails do hurt your shoulder a little bit. So if you're putting it on the backpack strap, a lot of times that's all I need.
I stick with this. You can't carry it on your back. So, you know, in a situation where you're out hiking all day, I have to come up with something different. But I feel like 9 out of 10 times I'm close enough to the van, or there's somebody who I can just make carry this. I like it because it's not a bag. And it's always the same. It's like I know that I've got my lens adapters in here, I've got an extra tripod plate here, filters, cards, you know, intervalometer, lenses, batteries, everything stays in the same spot, and it's the same place every time. As I work with different B-cam operators or anything, I can kind of really quickly show everybody, like, this is where everything is, and this is how it all works. Through the last 2 years of shooting the show, we're getting close to the end of season 2. We've refined our kit, and I feel like it's a really good place right now.
But I actually feel like my kit is as good as I could ever want it to be right now. You can shoot everything from a protest or a camping trip to a 4-camera interview.
Yep, and this camera is like, it's rugged. Look at it, like it's beat up and it's still going, and it's got switches and buttons and things, and you're not like sweaty or frozen trying to like navigate a touch screen that doesn't work just to change the ISO in the middle of a shot.
Yeah, it's funny that ours are so different, but every body is different, and I think that's the thing that I like about this camera is it starts small and it's really customizable. You can build it for yourself, right? And for me, it's perfect, and I think for the show that we do, it's exactly what we want, you know?
I agree.